10 fragrances that I would give them a solid 10. Without any further ado, I want to start by House of Viktor&Rolf Spicebomb Infrared. For me, this is the best one in the line, in my opinion. It is not as simple as or as light as the regular version, which I like it, but in terms of that weight and complexity, it is better to my taste compared to the regular one, and not as at some points overwhelming as or too spicy as the extreme version. So I like it between these two. I have to say it is enough spicy and not too overwhelming, and has a very beautiful weight and masculinity to it. For me, it is well balanced spiciness, not too peppery, not too cinnamony, and tobacco is a bit more touchable compared to the regular version, and not too spicy, and leather is a bit touchable. I really like it. I can get like 7-8 hours plus max longevity with this one, with 2 hours of average projection and above average sillage. Let's continue by House of Gucci at number 9. For me, hands down, this one is the best in the entire house. Gucci Intense Oud. If you like oud based fragrances, if you like dark fragrances, this is big time a must have for you. This is like sour and bitter. Sourness is not like fruity, citrusy type of sourness. It is like resiny type of sourness. This is smoky and very dark and daring at the same time. I cannot say that is a safe blind by worthy fragrance unless you like this type of fragrances. This is one of my most complimented dark fragrances. When you sniff it, you're gonna say, nah, I'm gonna get a ton of bad comments with this one, but I don't remember any bad comments with this one. It is a complimenting fragrance, it is masculine, and it is better in the dressed up situations. It is a fall winter fragrance. I can get like solid 10-12 hours plus longevity with this one, but projection and sillage is not that loud. I would say it is like average to good. It is not like the longevity, a beast mode type of fragrance in terms of projection and sillage, but I would say it is a very long lasting fragrance. Number 8 is a discontinued fragrance, but I had to talk about it. It is called Absolu from House of Giorgio Armani. Has enough complexity to call it niche, but enough appealing to call it designer. Kind of like appealing niche type of fragrance, let's say. To this one, it is a bit out of that designer territory. It is like powdery, has some sort of suede or soft leathery vibe to it. You can get herbal notes. It is very sweet, and touch of tobacco for whatever reason is at the background of the fragrance, which is not mentioned in the note breakdowns. For me, it is like powdery, floral, sweet, slightly leathery, and tobacco. It is my second most favorite fragrance from House of Giorgio Armani after Acqua Di Gio Profumo. Such a beautiful juice, but for whatever reason they discontinued it. It is like, in terms of longevity, I would say 7 to 8 hours, but very strong 7 hours, and good 2 hours of projection and sillage, and such a huge complementing factor. Number 7 is King of House of Prada, in my opinion, my absolute favorite one from this house, Prada L'Homme Intense. It is a leather-based fragrance. It is sweet. At the base we have tonka. It is very thick at the base. It is a very concentrated and complex type of juice, long-lasting. At the top it is like spicy, peppery. I can get sort of cardamom-ish feel. Also, only at the opening, it is powdery. Direction is actually like direction only, like Code Absolu, but scent profile is totally different. It is like powdery, spicy, leathery, you know what I mean, but they are totally two different fragrances, and lasts on me solid 12 hours plus in terms of longevity with 2-3 hours. Very great projection and sillage, and definitely it is a compliment monster. Let's continue by House of Chanel at number 6. It is not my most favorite one from the house. Allure Sport Eau Extreme. I like Egoist Platinum better, but it is not a 10 out of 10 fragrance when it comes to the suggestion, as it is a bit outdated compared to this one. This one is more up to date, I have to say. It smells more modern. It is like thick and sweet at the base. It is slightly aquatic, but not oceanic. It is watery and clear, and minty fresh with touch of citruses. In the air is not as how it is on the skin, because on the skin it is a little bit like too powdery and sweet, but in the air is like minty fresh and citrusy with touch of aquatic notes. With this one I can get like 7 hours plus max longevity on the skin, on the clothing, like 1 day. And projection and sillage, I would say it has average projection for first hour and a half, and a little bit above average type of sillage. I can get a better sillage compared to its projection. Now we are at top 5. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet and you find value in my videos, please remember to subscribe and support me by your likes. I really appreciate that. At number 5, I have such a handsome fragrance. It is a very beautiful fragrance from house of Jean Paul Gaultier, Le Male Le Parfum. It is a very concentrated and highly oily fragrance. Sometimes it happens that I don't wear it for 1-2 months. Then the sprayer stucks because it's too oily and the oils get somehow rusted. Now it is okay, but sometimes happens and it doesn't spray proper because oils get dry here and gets rusty a little bit. It is too oily. It is like herbal. It is not that much fruity freshness is here, like herbal type of freshness. It is a thick fragrance and has a very strong character. It is one of those absolute signature scent worthy memorable fragrances. For me, definitely it is at top 5, 10 out of 10 fragrances in terms of performance, in terms of price, scent profile, every single factor about this fragrance is 10 out of 10, especially that complementing factor and that strong character of this fragrance. I can get 10 to 12 hours plus longevity with this one, with 2 hours of good projection and sillage. Let's continue by house of Dior at number 4, Dior Sauvage Elixir. From this line, I like Dior Sauvage Parfum the best, but this one wins, I have to say, when it comes to the 10 out of 10 fragrances. So Dior Sauvage Elixir shares only a backbone with the regular Dior Sauvage EDT. That's lavendery backbone, but when you smell them side by side, these are two totally different fragrances. For example, EDP is close still to the EDT, and Parfum version is also still close to the EDT, but this one is almost like 90% a totally different fragrance, except that lavendery herbal backbone. This one leans, this one leans more spicy compared to the regular version, although the regular version is also spicy because of that pepper, but here we have different type of spices. It is like sweeter compared to the regular version because of that added cardamom and I can say cinnamon. Cinnamon is also much more prominent, and it is darker because of licorice and patchouli. With this one, 12-14 hours plus, easily I can get longevity with 3 hours of solid projection and sillage. But in terms of complements, I would say EDT and Parfum is better, at least to my experience. At number 3, again from house of Dior, a game changer, the fragrance that copied a lot, even more than Creed Aventus in my opinion, Dior Homme Intense. Like Valentino Homme Intense, Givenchy Gentleman Reserve Privé, 3-4 different fragrances from house of Givenchy, from house of Prada, BDK Gris Charnel. Lots of fragrances inspired by this one or copied this one, which I don't remember right now. It is a game changer. It is a king. Powdery, leathery, and modern masculine type of fragrance. It's also a little bit spicy, but it's more about that powdery and leathery note. Those two accords are main player. The other things are like little details at the betweens, let's say, to this one. With the very newer formulation, I can get like 7 to 8 hours plus max longevity with 2 hours of average to very little close to good type of projection and sillage. But before formulations were beast mode in my opinion, like 12 hours type of longevity I could get with 3 hours of solid projection and sillage, but it is not impossible with the newest batches, and still it is a complementing juice. At number 2 from house of Emporio Armani, if I have to make a list one day, top 5 most complimented fragrances in entire my life, this one would be at that list, definitely. Stronger with You, absolutely. It is woody. If you like woody fragrances, the heated woody type of fragrances is close to be smoky, you know what I mean. And it is nutty, it is sweet, and very little boozy. It is not that much prominent in that boozy side, but that booziness gives to fragrance a very beautiful twist. Absolutely one of those must-have fragrances in any man's collection. In terms of price, performance, compliments, such a huge complimenting fragrance. It is a 10 out of 10 must-have fragrance. I believe I can get like 12 to 14 hours plus longevity with this one. Look at the color of the juice. It is a very solid, concentrated, lasting fragrance, and projection and sillage is out of this world for first 2-3 hours. At number 1, one of the best fragrances, hands down, I've ever put my nose on. I am talking about Acqua Di Gio Profumo. Oh my goodness. This is also discontinued. I don't know what are they doing. They discontinued such a great fragrances like Code Absolu, this one, Acqua Di Gio, but this one is for me another story. One of the best aquatic fragrances in the entire universe, in my opinion. It is enough dark, has enough weight, has enough freshness. It is like very versatile, dressed up, dressed on, official and formal. Any case, any occasion, any situation, you can go with this one and you can grab attentions, especially from women. It's like herbal and aquatic with a very beautiful incensey base and dry down. I can get 10 to hours plus longevity with this one. It is a very concentrated and lasting freshy, and projection and sillage, I would say projection is good for first 2-3 hours and sillage is a little bit better than the projection. Take care guys.